Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, it's me Gamerturk, and we got a mini news update for the upcoming free and paid DLCs of Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris in this week's SAO Beaters Cafe stream with Yosuke Futami and the Medina cosplayer Sayuki. As I said, we got small news, so this won't take too much of your time, but I'll still put some timestamps in the description so you can skip ahead if you want to. The first news is that the 4 chapters of Ancient Apostles, the free DLCs that each will be focusing on individual characters, starting with Reaper of the Woods focusing on Shinon, despite being standalone stories, will actually be somewhat tied together and actually form a coherent narrative together in the end. Myosotis, or as the Western localization calls it, Blooming of Forget-Me-Not, because fuck subtlety, will also be the first part of a story that will continue in the currently not named second paid DLC chapter. So yeah, paid DLCs have been confirmed to be chapters 2, which is kinda sad, especially after the chapter formula left a really sour taste in the mouth with the 3 Fatal Bullet DLC chapters. But then again, Hollow Realization chapter DLCs were solid, and again, the writers for Lycoris DLCs are quite renowned, so no need to come to any negative conclusions for now. What's more important here is that the unnamed second DLC that will be continuing the story of Myosotis will also tie together the 4 free DLC chapters before Myosotis. So it seems like they got quite the intertwined narrative structure planned ahead for this, which will be interesting to see how it'll play out. Going back to the first free DLC chapter, Reaper of the Woods, however, it will feature new outfit and weapon skins as rewards, although it's not exactly clarified which sources these rewards will come from. We're also getting a new bow finisher too, possibly tied to the weapon, and will overwrite your current finisher even if you have it as a visualization option, I believe. I sure am hoping these will be from raids or bosses rather than cubes, especially considering they look to be themed around the Reaper itself. Of course, new bosses will be added with the first free DLC chapter, and character level cap will be increased. I personally expect the cap to be increased by 10 levels. It sounds reasonable, since assuming the other chapters will increase the cap by that same level as well. With 4 free DLC chapters, we're looking at a level cap of 90 before we start preparing for Myosotis. Futami has also mentioned that the first DLC chapter, Reaper of the Woods, will hopefully be released by the end of the year. However, no promises have been made, nor a fixed window has been provided, so Futami's words are basically a vague reference point until a proper announcement is made. I sure do hope we get some new raids until then though, otherwise, with uninspired daily missions and silly SAO shop campaigns, people will not remain interested in the game too much. But the good news is, on the other side of the tunnel, live 2D presentations for the visual novel scenes are coming. The new preview that we translated with SAO Wikia even showcases it in action, and if you ask me, the game should have just released with live 2D in the first place in this day and age. Aquaria's 2D sprites are gorgeous, nothing against that, but it is 2020 and these live 2D sprites are equally gorgeous and at least a bit more dynamic to keep you interested in the chore-like dialogue bombardments of Lycoris's main story. But sadly, there was no clarification if the live 2D scenes will only be for the story of the DLC or including side events of the DLC, or if it'll retroactively make everything live 2D. The latter is just wishful thinking, by the way. I don't think it's a reasonable expectation until anything more specific is announced. And the last bit of news is regarding the Gameverse original cast, as well as Edith Synthesis 10 from Alicization Rising Steel joining the game during these free DLC drops. Well, concept arts for 4 of the heroines have been revealed. Strea has a fancy medieval dress, Rain has a more Arabic-styled belly dancer dress, possibly inspired by the Southern Empire aesthetic. Tia actually properly confirmed to be coming, setting all the fan concerns, and her attire appears to be straight out of Genshin Impact, honestly, whereas Kureha has a more elegant / noble-like dress. And well, that is actually one character preview from each game, Stref from Hollow Fragment, Rain from Lost Song, Tia from Hollow Realization, and Aquria from Fatal Bullet, so neat reveal there. They also shared the 3D model for Rain, which honestly looks better than it does in the concept art if you ask me, though I'm probably biased. Rain is one of my favorite characters in the gameverse, and that smile just melts my heart. But that covers everything from that small news drop. Do subscribe and hit the bell icon for more in-depth Sword Art Online coverage and news. Become a member if you want to have a special badge next to your name and get access to exclusive emotes. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook for faster news access. 50k special merch is available on my Teespring page, and a huge thanks to all my patrons and channel members as usual. Until next time, stay cool.